Hello, Magic Casters of all shapes and sizes. My name is Chance. Welcome to my Spellbook, and thank you so much for tuning into the 40th episode of our second level spell series. Today we have a very special spell in store for all of you today, and to be honest, it's one of the most recognizable spells in Dungeons & Dragons. Today we're talking about Invisibility. This spell is usable by the Bard, Sorcerer, Warlock, Wizard, and Artificer, which is super nice. The Artificer kinda got shafted pretty hard in terms of the spells it has access to, but I am very happy it at the very least has access to Invisibility. This spell is also found in the Player's Handbook, so we should all have access to it. Now let's take a look at the mechanics here so you can better understand how the spell works. The effect at a glance is as followed. A creature you touch becomes invisible. This lasts until the spell ends or if the creature attacks or casts a spell. Your cast time is 1 action, the range is touch, the duration is 1 hour, and this is a concentration spell. At higher levels you can target 1 additional creature for each spell slot level above 2nd. The components are verbal, material, and somatic. If you're curious about that material component, it is an eyelash encased in gum arabic, which is essentially hardened tree sap, just so you guys know. And the school is unsurprisingly illusion. Now let's take a look at the spell's full description and actually break down the status effect for invisibility. A creature you touch becomes invisible until the spell ends. Anything the target is wearing or carrying is invisible as long as it is on the target's person. The spell ends for a target that attacks or casts a spell. At higher levels, when you cast a spell using a spell slot of 3rd level or higher, you can target 1 additional creature for each slot level above 2nd. Very cool stuff. Now taking a look at the effect or the condition of invisible, reads as follows. An invisible creature is impossible to see without the aid of magic or a special sense. For the purpose of hiding, the creature is heavily obscured. The creature's location can be detected by any noise it makes or any tracks it leaves. Attack rolls against the creature have disadvantage, and the creature's attack rolls have advantage. Very cool stuff. Needless to say, this is a great condition, arguably one of the best in the game. There's going to be a couple of things worth pointing out here. Just because you are invisible does not mean you cannot be detected. So it specifies without the age of magic or a special sense, but it also makes mention that if you're making a lot of noise or making obvious tracks, then you can be tracked that way as well. And it's fairly reasonable to expect that people that are used to dealing with magic users would have countermeasures for this spell. Seeing as it's how it's a low level and bound to be quite popular, but you know what, it kind of depends on the world that you're living in. Now let's take a look at some alternative uses here and better break down the cooler ways of using this spell. So personally, I thought this would be a hilarious means of kidnapping a person. For example, walk up to a famous noble, king, lord, whatever, doesn't really matter, gag them, and then handcuff their hands together, and then cast invisibility on them. Since they're technically wearing the handcuffs and gag, they would also become invisible, and you could essentially lead them out of a potentially crowded room with no one being none the wiser. I think that'd be hilarious. On a more literally hilarious route, you could use this as a form of trickery or as a form of joke telling or something of those lines. Give a person an invisible wedgie, for example. Kinda hilarious. Outside of that, the spell works really well when it comes to escaping from tense situations. As you might logically assume, people not being able to see you make it pretty easy for you to go away unnoticed. So it's pretty great. That being said, if you have any alternative ideas, uses, thoughts, concepts, questions, concerns, please put it down beneath in the comment section. I really do appreciate it. And if you like that nice hand-drawn Warforged being drawn on screen and you'd like your own hand-drawn D&D picture, please check out the guild hall to figure out exactly how to do that. That being said, thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate the time. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, happy casting, everyone.